In this second half of chapter 14, Paul is going to continue this thought process of maintaining the unity of the body when it comes to differences of opinion of non-essential matters and how we live those things out. Where last week it was about judgment and how that judgment, if we're judging one another, is going to destroy that unity. He's going to turn the page here now to talking about how we go about living out those convictions, these differences of opinions on non-essential matters, and how the very way we live them out will impact those around us. Paul exhorts us to never put a stumbling block or hindrance for a brother, and he tells us that we should never, for the sake of food, destroy the work of God. Instead, we are to pursue those things that make for unity and for mutual upbuilding. The key is that we love and lead others within the body in such a way that we're seeking to grow together. So Paul's main focus here when it comes to these differences of opinion is the way that we live it out in front of others should be with the purpose of mutual upbuilding. It shouldn't be with this desire to be right or wrong, but to teach one another so that we are growing closer in unity. I think of it in the way that I see my daughter Charlotte at her piano lessons. You see, I don't know anything about piano. I know that I love listening to my wife play it, but I could never teach my daughter how to play. So instead she's in lessons, and you know what her teacher doesn't do? She doesn't just play Mozart for her and say, okay, now do that. She also doesn't say there's no rules, just play around and you'll figure it out, because neither of those would be helpful. Instead, she goes through the painstaking process of teaching her music, of teaching her rhythm, and working on the piano. And at times, it really doesn't sound good, and it takes a long time. But she comes alongside her. She works with her. And that's exactly what we should be doing with one another, is even in these areas that we disagree, that we should be coming alongside one another with one purpose. And that is that we're building one another up in mutual love to seek peace and unity. So for us to consider this week is how are we living out our faith convictions? Are we doing so with the intention of expressing divine love, seeking peace and mutual upbuilding? Or are we doing it just in a way that is seeking to prove a point, to prove right or wrong, or even to flaunt our own freedoms?